This is What a week.
What a week. PoliTricks.
Hey Tada, welcome to another episode of Wow What a Week, hashtag PoliTricks with Fresh and Botsang. South African politics, where passports, promotions and paranoia all mix into one spicy poiki. And our cookist of said poiki is Botsang Moiloa. Brother.
Good morning, brother Fresh, and how are you?
Okay.
I've not been well, but I shall be well, man.
Look.
I don't know what did I consume wrong or my body's reacting. I've been having paining ulcers for the last 2 days. Yeah, Bantweiler, they're supposed to come for you with the radio, not me.
No,
By the way, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
On the finally starting with the radio station. Very, very nice, very interesting.
You can catch Botsang on 938 Fresh Breakfast for In Context with Botsang Monday and Friday at 8:10 every morning. Stream it on 938.co.za or 938 FM in Johannesburg. We're also on DSTV. So yeah. Welcome to your radio career. I'm working on having you have your own show.
My brother, it felt weird. It felt weird, but it's nice because you have other people to support you. Unlike, being stuck with cameras. The nice thing with radio is that you can make a mistake and nobody will see.
Hey, or you can be ugly like us and no one cares. Yeah? Anyway, let's go to Morocco.
Yes, bro.
JZ, President Zuma controversy traveling to Morocco, even raising questions about how a convicted man on parole got clearance to travel.
No, man. Look, I don't think there are conditions that... I'll start with that one.
Sure.
I don't think people who are on parole, especially for a minor offense like that, will have conditions of travel.
Travel restrictions.
If my memory serves me well, when he was released by the presidential parole, you remember?
Or that part, or people were pardoned.
Yes, pardoned.
Also, does everything expunged?
Yes.
Does everything expunged?
Exactly. It's no longer a parolee like when a criminal is in prison and you are released through the parole board process. Then they may put condition. But look, it won't surprise me that President Zuma traveled with a diplomatic passport because as the constitution of the country allows, former heads of state and I think deputies, they still travel with privileges of government. And also, I would not be surprised that he traveled with at our expenses, taxpayers' money, because that's what is it's one of the benefits they carry. Although I must put it that most of the time when that is done, where the government provides a jet or traveling costs, because I don't think it flies, commercial. It's when they are doing work in the continent or in the world. As former heads of state, you remember the travel of President Mbeki to South Sudan and various other engagements in the continent. Yeah, but those are just administrative processes. But when it comes to protocol, I applied my mind well the whole week after I saw on social media, there was a lot of backlash. And I think it does not come fresh from President Zuma or Morocco displaying or hoisting the South African national flag. I don't think the dispute comes from there. It comes from that he was traveling there privately for MK purposes, which there's nothing wrong with that. He was hosted by Morocco as the leader of controversies, a party in South Africa. But I think the controversy and the backlash came from the fact that controversies, a party does not recognize Western Sahara or the Sahrawi region as an independent state. It does not. That's the controversy policy.
And this is an area Morocco occupies.
This is the area Morocco occupies, and they want to actually proclaim as the area. So it is under dispute. You understand?
And South Africa's policy, foreign policy, recognizes Western Sahara.
Yes, the South African policy for all the time. Remember, Morocco had left. It was not part of the African Union. For one of the reasons was that dispute for many years. I think they left 1977 and they came back in 2017. And now when the African Union accepted Morocco back, in 2017. The question becomes, did they allow or talk about the two-party state, Western Sahara being independent, or what was the AU resolution? South Africa is part of the AU. Morocco is now part of the AU. So the lament was President Zuma is, what did the people say? They say he is a traitor and he's selfish, he's got double standards for his selfish and is a interest. Because when he was the head of state of South Africa, he obviously was subscribing to the foreign policy of the Republic of South Africa. Now he's in the opposition. One is the opposition, two is he's no longer the member of the African National Congress. Three, Party is the official opposition in the Republic of South Africa. And people are saying, but he cannot stand next to a South African flag and talk about policies or positions that are contrary to the South African foreign policy.
So what does protocol say then in terms of, so if, for instance, Steenhuisen went on a visit to, say, Israel, and he's going as a DA member or in his personal capacity, what does protocol say about the use of the flag and the positioning of the flag?
Look, I don't know what does the policy say. I would imagine that the host is responsible to determine whether which flag are they going to use. I've never seen a situation where a political party visits another country, a state. Normally, it's a political party, visiting a political party. The relationship between the ANC and the Communist Party of South Africa visiting the Communist Party of Russia. But I've never seen a foreign state, a government. I don't want to talk about political parties.
Because they treated it like it's a state visit.
They treat it like it's a state visit. They treat it like it's an official visit, especially when the things I've mentioned earlier before, traveled with a diplomatic passport, a former head of state will always be accorded the security, the blue lines, the national anthem, and the flag of the country you come from will be hoisted by the receiving state. And so in this instance, my position is Morocco was the host. And if South Africa feels like, I doubt if they will do it, because like I said, Morocco says this is the former South African president traveling with a South African diplomatic passport, a leader of an official position, government, in an official opposition in government. So whether you are the opposition or not, you are part of the government. And then controversies that the DA, Action S and others, they are part of the National Assembly. They are part of the government. Whether they belong to the government of national unity or not, whether you are an opposition or not, you are part of government. So I don't see, it will not make sense for me that the host country would not, up or hoist the flag of the visitor, because they don't care about our internal dynamics.
Yeah.
They will care about their interest, and their interest at the moment, the interest of Morocco at the moment, is to rally almost everybody they could rally in the continent to support their position regarding the Western Sahara. It may just as well not be the South African government position. The South African government foreign policy is very clear on Western Sahara. It's as clear as the one on Palestine. But Umkhonto as a political party have issued a statement, actually a very long, detailed document on explaining the history of the Western Sahara, what has happened, and the claims there are that the Western Sahara was before the Spanish colonization, was a province of Morocco. I haven't heard anybody disputing that. So for those who know history and what has happened there, people can claim it's the same situation as what we have now. There are people in the Republic of South Africa who are pushing, and the DA is one of them, and the DA is running the Western Cape, that the Western Cape must be annexed away from South Africa, must be an independent state. So they're going around the world and lobbying. You understand? And look, we've seen Mr. Julius Malema visiting other countries, whether to lobby other political parties or to be a guest of the official government. And South African flag will be flying there, whether under the AU banner, because he's a member of the AU Parliament. We have seen the Democratic Alliance visit, and AfriForum, even other bodies visiting the USA and being received there by members of the Senate or members of Congress, and the South African flag was there. You understand? We have seen Patriotic Alliance and other political parties visiting Israel or being in cahoots with Israel, which the South African government, we know the position. The South African government has actually even severed diplomatic relations between the two countries. So for me, it's not about the flag. For me, it's who did it. If anybody would have went to Western Sahara, any other politician except Jacob Zuma, I don't think the noise will be this much.
Do you think JZ did this intentionally to, I don't know, just put beach sand in the underwear of the GNU or government? Because he knows it would lead to a diplomatic a row of sorts. I mean, already there were rumors that Morocco might have funded the MK. So do you think he's playing into those rumors intentionally? Because one thing I appreciate and respect about JZ is he's very calculating.
Yeah,
he's very, very calculating, and he politically and non-politically, he plays chess.
He is fresh. But look, I've said earlier on, we can't choose which countries or which people are the opposition parties in that country must have relationships with.
Sure.
You understand?
Just like America can't choose who we can have relationships
exactly.
with.
You understand? We can't. And I've explained the issue of the flag, but I think JZ he did this purposefully. It is the policy position of Umkhonto a political party in South Africa, to have relations with the Kingdom of Morocco. Whether the Kingdom of Morocco is funding Umkhonto as a party is neither here nor there, because we also cannot extend or push people who should be funding you. We don't know who's funding you except those domestically that have been declared.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't choose friends for me. And I think he did it purposefully. One, to irritate the South African government. But there's another issue as well that is also interesting in this matter. The United States of America foreign policy is aligned coincidentally with that of South Africa. The U.S. foreign policy and the United Nations, as well as the African Union policies, are saying Western Sahara is supposed to be an independent state. But controversies have thrown the spanner in the works and say it does not mean when those bodies, when those imperialists are saying Western Sahara must be independent, therefore the whole world must go that route, because they are doing this for their own personal interest because of the minerals that are available in the Western Sahara. Apparently there's quite a lot of minerals. But I think controversies, they did this purposefully. You said they are putting sand in the underwear of others. I think they actually want to wreck issues. But they knew that people will come for Zuma and say, but you were the president, you pushed this policy.
Sure.
What kind of, he has been called traitors and what? But I said to people, not in his defense, he is a member of the opposition. What is the purpose of the opposition? It is to disrupt, even when it's unnecessary. Wherever you can score points and rattle feathers, oppositions naturally do that.
Do you think Floyd will or could use this to his advantage by arguing a double standard of sorts? Let me explain. So Floyd visited self-proclaimed Prophet Bushiri, and he was pushed out of the party because Prophet Bushiri is on the wanted list of the South African government.
Yes.
The South African government believe that Morocco need to take their foot off the neck of Western Sahara.
Yeah.
JZ visited Morocco. Could he argue a double standard?
Look, he could, and he could try and use that as exposing the MK further. But I think Mr. Floyd Shivambu has said it. I think he has moved on.
But he's still a member of the party.
Yeah, he's there. But what could he do? And I said, some people were even calling for Zuma to be disciplined for doing what Floyd Shivambu has done. You know, Fresh, again, you know how much I don't like double standards. I've had very serious argument with legal people this week about this. And I said, and I repeat what I've said on this platform before. ANC itself, and I'll always put and proclaim the love I have for President Putin and for Russia. The ANC itself, visited, led by its first SG, Menomvola Mukoyan, visited Russia as a friend, visited the Communist Party of Russia as a friend, had dinners and engagement with President Putin, who is a wanted fugitive in the world. Now, that's very strong words to use, but I said to people, we can't be using double standards when it comes to laws. When it comes to our domestic criminal law, Bushiri is wanted because he escaped his bail conditions and he left the country, so he's a wanted fugitive. But South Africa is a signatory to the ICJ and the ICC. And President Putin is wanted by the ICC. Whether South Africa supports that position or not, it's immaterial. The fact is there's a court order.
The principle
is there. We can't say when it is our friends who are wanted by courts. Therefore, we are saying, no, it's not right. We won't implement this. We have had it with al-Bashir when he visited South Africa. And there are various reasons why we couldn't arrest al-Bashir under the Zuma administration. Various reasons. One of the reasons was we had soldiers in Sudan at that time, where the Sudanese were saying to us, South Africa, you dare touch our president, we'll wipe off these soldiers or we'll lock them up. So you must put your diplomatic head in and think properly for the best interest of one, your organization, your political party, or even the country. So this thing of double standards, I'm saying when there's a law, let the law be applied across the board equally. And somebody said to me, an advocate in Nahal, said to me, no, but that's an international law. I said, but there's one thing that people don't understand. The international laws and treaties that we are signatory to or subscribers to, they go through our parliament first. They go through our National Council of Provinces. If there's a treaty that South Africa wants to sign, DIRCO must go and table it at the Foreign Affairs Committee. The committee takes it and then tables it to the National Council of Provinces. Then it goes to the National Assembly, full sitting of that. Then it becomes part of our national law. That's why we cannot enter into treaties or international agreements that are contrary to our domestic law or our constitution. We can't enter into that. So once we take an international treaty or law through that process, it becomes domesticated. That's the language used by diplomats. So the ICC and the ICJ's treaties and rules and laws are domesticated to South Africa. They are part of our law. And look, I've got my favorite people. I don't hide that Putin is one of my favorite people. But when we talk of politics in the country, we can't talk two sides.
Yeah.
We must be clear and fair. The DA can go to the US with AfriForum and do as they want. Patriotic Alliance and the others and the Helen Suzman Foundations, they can go to Israel and do what they want. Some people go to Palestine. The ANC has engaged Hamas. You understand? For good intentions. But when others do it and say, but I'm doing it for good intentions, why should we not believe the others and we believe the others? Jacob Zuma stood up and said, I went there to go and say to Morocco, do not use any violence, do not suppress those people, use diplomatic engagements. Why do we say he's lying? Because again, our position for over 20 years regarding the Western Sahara, has it yielded any fruits? Have we seen engagement? Have we seen the South African government approaching Morocco, whether under Mbeki, Zuma, or Ramaphosa or Motlanthe? Have we seen that? We have a policy position, but we haven't seen them engaging Morocco to say, as South Africa, we want to engage with you. Stop occupying and suppressing the people of Western Sahara. We haven't seen that happening. And therefore, we have it just on policy, but we are not pushing it. And for me, it's let's not have double standards as a country.
Do you think it'll blow over or will it...
Nah, it's over. It's dead.
It's done.
It's done. This country is, for somebody said South Africa is a movie. No, it's not a movie. It's a series. Something happens Sunday night. Monday morning something happens, Monday morning afternoon something happens. I think it's done. I don't think it will blow off. The only thing that I'm scared of is that President Ramaphosa and the government may react. They may ground President Zuma. They refuse him to, state flights and all those things, like he has done with President Mbeki at some stage. He once grounded President Mbeki and refused him to continue using Nkwazi after he took over. So they may do the same as well. They're behaving like little children.
Yes.
It's my vehicle or it's my ball. And then when you are angry with this one, you take your ball, and then he will bring some.
Or if Abago pick, you
Yeah.
take a ball. That was me. If you don't pick me, then you don't play with
Then
the
you
ball.
take your ball.
Absolutely. Let's bring it back home. Let's go to Parliament.
Yes.
The sudden axing of Minister Nkabane
Yes.
and appointment of Buti Namela. Yes. What do you think triggered the sudden firing? Because it had been anticipated during the family meeting.
Yeah.
But the family meeting didn't deliver what people were anticipating.
Look, Fresh, there was a lot at stake.
Hmm.
You remember last week at the end of our show, I said President Ramaphosa will have to fire somebody in the cabinet to make space. I'll buy it. It is not, but he didn't make space. He still has another week. He's got exactly a week, actually even less, because he must have made a decision by Thursday, in the country, 31st. So how is he going to appoint Kashali? I'm not diverting, but I'm just explaining what happened. President Ramaphosa, I still say he has to make a vacancy in the cabinet to can appoint Mr. Kashali. Unless between today and on Thursday, he convinces the National Assembly to create a position, a special position, whether it's the minister in the presidency. The economic freedom fighters as well as the controversies party are sitting with legal documents to say you dare appoint Professor Kashalia as the acting minister of police. Will go to the Concord straight. And they are not even going to the High Court. They'll go straight to the Concord.
I was going to say, what does the law say?
Yeah, the law is very clear. He can't do that. He can't appoint him as an acting. People will say maybe he will bypass and appoint him as the minister without portfolio in the presidency. No. There's a minister in the presidency already in the name of Minister Nkabane. But it can't be even the minister without portfolio. It must have a vacancy. You understand? You must have the ministry. You must have the team. You need a vacancy.
So what you're saying is the only way someone can be acting, they must come from the basket that exists already.
The acting, it must be from one of the current ministers.
Yes.
Son in minister.
Hence Mantashe can act here and there.
Yes. He's a minister of minerals and energy or minerals. He's acting as the minister of police. That is well within the law. But with Nkabane, you were asking me what brought it up. I think it was pressure. One, this was a week of budget votes. And the last budget votes were completed this week.
Do you think it was in anticipation of the budget vote so that we can get going with these budgets?
Yes. Yeah, I think that was it.
Because I think in the history of the past 30 years, it's the first time it's taken this long.
Yes, but also they only had until the 31st of July to get past the budget vote. You remember we discussed it weeks ago. They only had it until the 31st of July. Otherwise, there was going to be chaos. And look at which ministries were left behind. Education, health, and which other one. There were key ones that were left behind. So I think that was the first thing. That if the DA is going to misbehave, and then Umkhonto is an EFF, so the majority would have not supported that. However, there's another element as well. Last Saturday when we were talking, you remember we discussed that the minister or former minister Nkabane was supposed to have been in front of the parliamentary committee on a Friday, and he pushed them to say, "I'm not coming. I've got some colleges to address, to give a keynote address."
Yes, the TVET.
Yeah, the TVET address. On Monday, late afternoon, when the presidency, and he didn't even go in front of cameras, he just issued statements straight and to say who is appointed. He can't do that. Minister Nkabane was supposed to go and be in front, and he had accepted the date.
The next day.
On a Tuesday. I also think, and this is for me more logical, he was saving this lady's face. The Friday before, or the Thursday before, that committee had sat with advocate, is it Jerry Mutale? And the other witness, who actually said, we never met this minister. Everything she has been saying, she has been lying. She wrote to us with one said I declined, one said I still waited for the meeting. Now you are going to sit in front of this parliamentary committee. And I think President Ramaphosa called his comrade and said, Dr. Nkabane, you're going to be embarrassed. The situation is very bad there.
Yeah.
But you must also remember, in those committees, ANC has members more than any other member. I think they took her aside as comrades and said, no, let's let this thing go. Let the president terminate your services. That's why the president did it a day before. But that was one thing, to avoid embarrassment. However, this is my position towards the government. I think that committee must still continue to probe Nkabane. And I'll tell you why. She is still a member of the National Assembly. She's still an MP.
She's still accountable.
Yeah. Now, that's why when they write their titles, they'll be like Minister, Dr. Nkabane. What is they write? Minister Nkabane, then the title Doctor, if you have a doctorate, then they will still write the MP. You understand? So she still lied or misled that committee, and she's still an MP. And I think it will be fair. She must still answer.
But wasn't one of the arguments that then she needs to now be dealing with the ethics committee?
Yes.
And not be going back to those...
Yes. What I'm saying is not the portfolio committee on higher education, not that committee, the ethics committee, because you conducted yourself unethical in a meeting with one of the National Assembly or parliamentary committees. So I think you must still do that. But again, if let me tell you the other risk despite the budget for education, many people were going to be affected. If that budget didn't go through, the NEFSAs, the sitters themselves were going to be unable to perform their duties of the sitters, and if this thing didn't go through. It came very late. The president did this in a very last minute, but I think it was a move in the right direction. The DA has already claimed victory.
That was my next question, that the budget votes are through now.
They're through.
So can we say the DA won the victory?
Look, that's what they are saying. And when you look at it from, what do you call it, when you skim it, when you look at it, I think the DA is the victorious party in this whole process because everything that they wanted happened. What they didn't want, they halted or they stalled the process. Some of the things, even the African National Congress and the PA, members of the GNU, some of the things they both wanted with the DA, but everything that the Democratic Alliance wanted has happened so far, except that they haven't, pushed the one for dismissal of Nkunu. And I know what they are waiting. They are waiting for Mkontozi and EFF to push this legal thing. They may join them as a supporting party, and now it's going to create a problem in the appointment of Professor Kashalia. In principle, I don't think any of the political parties in parliament are against or are talking differently regarding dealing with this, what they call them, Konazi saga now. Because all political parties and all committees of parliament in the security class have agreed to form an ad hoc committee jointly. Remember, we spoke about it previously. They've now agreed. Also, that's one thing that happened this week. So that committee is going to continue with its work, despite the fact that the president has pronounced during the course of the week now, it's official, he has gazetted actually the what do you call it, the Commission of Inquiry into Justice, Criminal Activities, and all those things. So they are going to run parallel, and I think it's good for the country.
Absolutely.
I think they are going to run parallel. So it's not yet over with the drama. In this coming week, we will see if Ntate Gwede Mantashe is going to continue to act beyond the 31st, or Ntate Ramaphosa is going to break the law and use an iron fist and say, I will appoint Professor Kashalia, whether other parties love or not. Then the others will run to court, others will run to the media, then the others will go to parliament, and they will not make life easy for Professor Kashalia. It's going to be very difficult.
So the lawfare continues.
So, yeah, the lawfare continues. This is where we are at the moment.
Absolutely.
But again, what has happened, it shows, and it should be a lesson to President Ramaphosa, that it is good to be tactical and to apply your mind and to consult. It's very good. There's nothing wrong. But at times you have to be decisive and make decisions at the right time.
Yes.
Don't delay and then you are on a nick of time. You understand? We don't want to be operating like that. We are on the edge as a nation. And I think the presidency must improve on that.
Absolutely. Let's bring it to Josie. DJ Sumbody's alleged killers arrested earlier in the week. We're told there were 5 arrests.
Is it not 4? I thought
Yeah,
plus 1.
Yeah, possibly 4. DJ Sumbody was assassinated in 2022.
Yes.
And the arrest happened on Sunday. And then we found out 2 days later, we find out that Kenny Kunene of the PA and also MMC for Transport in Gauteng
Yes.
was in his car in the driveway at the house that was being raided.
Yes.
And he's come out to say that he was arranging an interview with one of the suspects for a junior journalist at his online news platform.
Yeah.
It then became an issue the whole day.
Yes. They're actually for a few days.
In fact, it's still an issue even now if you will go onto social media. And then Kenny did an interview on TV the same day as that news broke to say that, I've done nothing wrong. Me, I was just there. I can even show you a pin drop that they send me location to show you that I don't know this person. And then Gayton went online painfully to talk about how he's going to have to let Kenny go at a party level for a month. For a month, he'll be relieved of his duties. He's going to ask the city of Johannesburg to also relieve him of his MMC duties. Over to you, sir. What are your views?
Yeah, this drama, you see, we like to sensationalize things.
In fact, can I just add quickly, and in the process of that, because social media, CSI and detectives and wannabe detectives will always, they're like a pit bull with a bone. They don't want to let it go. Obviously, then people are going to want to prove that, no, man, Kenny must know this gent. Before you knew it, there's a picture like Kenny and a Libraten.
Yeah,
and a Danica Mufrustan.
The DJ from Atteridgeville, I think he's from Atteridgeville or somewhere, yes.
There's
Or Ekurhuleni, yes.
There's a picture of Braten on le Kenny le Gated.
Yeah.
And people are saying, you said you don't know the gentleman who was arrested. But it's like, but this is Braten. These are 2 totally different people.
Yeah.
I know if Braten le media, whenever I play with gentlemen, go Alex, they're always there.
They're always there. Apparently, he's a resident DJ or something like that. He's not a full-time DJ like
and the point I'm making is often in our crusades on social media, we end up dragging people into situations that they have nothing to do with.
It's sad.
We end up having targets on people's backs that have nothing to do with it.
With them, yeah. It's sad. Imagine if you are a child or a family member, even the spouse of them, and this whole thing is all over the social media that you are now suddenly TK or whoever that person is. It has happened I'll go back to your questions. Yes. It has happened actually a week ago when, what is this famous guy who has been arrested that is now said to be a Swati national, the one who was wanted. He's in prison now. He's in Kosimampo and he was found with a, there was a cat, Matlala. There was a video of 702 host, what is this guy who does also on SABC with President Ramaphosa, Clement Manyate,
yes,
with President Ramaphosa shaking hands, but it was showing the back of Clement, and people said, oh, even Ramaphosa met Cat Matlala, and it was Clement. Clement had to come out on X and said, but am I now Cat Matlala? You see, and that's what our people are thinking. But that's the danger of social media, AI, and those things. They've got their disadvantages. But with what transpired, look, on Monday, let me first say, thumbs up to Mkhwanazi and his people. Because since July the 6th, there's something happening everywhere. People are arrested left, right, and center. Even if our favorite Brigadier Atlina can say, no, but the police have been working on this. If they've been working on this thing, DJ Sumbody was killed in 2022. Ballistics were done within 3 months. Look, the ballistics can be done within 3 days, but they were done within 3 months. They knew, they had the information. Why are they arresting people, 3 years after that and 3 weeks after Mkhwanazi has spilled the beans. So we must tell it as it is. There is somebody in SAPS who have been sitting on these files and these investigations. And some of the people who are, implicated in this, they were out on bail. I listened to one of the cases. The mastermind or the suspect in the killing of somebody or Swart.
The alleged mastermind.
Alleged, yes. The bail application that was declined for almost 2 years, opposed by the state and NPA. Guess who presided over that bail application? A deputy provincial head of the court. The deputy justice of the point. Why would the deputy justice preside over a bail application? Those are some of the things that comes in my mind. You move from a magistrate for almost 2 years, 19 months. The state is winning. He's not getting bail. Suddenly, there's a deputy justice of Gauteng High Court, and he's presiding over a bail case. These are some of the things when you apply your mind, you will say maybe the allegations of Mkhwanazi, the general, are correct when he says the judiciary is equally involved into this. But what do I say with the Kenny story? Look. For now, I want to align myself with what his president and leader and friend and business partner, Gaten McKenzie, has said, that he believes Kenny, but he had to show to be acting. The Patriotic Alliance is a disciplined organization, and he cannot just sit and fold his arms. Wrong place at the wrong time, and he says to us and the nation, as a politician, a member of the public, he says, he even demonstrated to the police why he was there. And the middle person who brought him there, the person who introduced him to this gentleman, was also, they said, no, I don't know this guy. I probably have met him before. But I don't know him. I cannot say he's my friend. The person who knows him, who facilitated this, is here. Then the CIS and the investigators of social media and the opposition stands up and say, yeah, but why didn't you send your journalists there? Why did you have to come? Why did you have to drive them? But Fresh, how many people I've met through you or you have met through me, then I cannot say go and meet there, especially when it's a prominent thing like that. I don't see anything wrong in Kenny saying, I'm going to introduce my team or the team that I'm grooming to that person. I don't see anything wrong with that. And I want to believe him when he says, it was a coincidence that he was there.
One of my listeners on 938 Fresh Breakfast earlier in the week said, if Vele, you are there chasing a story for your online publication,
yes,
didn't you have a scoop on the story? Why did you not break the story?
You have the best scoop.
Why wait 2 days for other people to break what could have been a good scoop for your news channel? What do you say to that?
That's the other side of the story. Those journalists, the true journalists that he was going to introduce, and himself, they had the best opportunity to be the ones breaking the news in the country.
They were front and center of that story.
Exactly. Not that they were there for that.
Yes.
They claimed that they didn't know. So they should have taken advantage of reporting that story live from them.
They could have broken it on their phones immediately.
On their phones, yes. And I agree with your listener. That's one thing that they should do. And I didn't see in all the interviews I've heard and seen, I didn't see any journalist probing Kenny why he didn't do that. What happened to those journalists. But there's also another twist. If I become the devil's advocate or I take the other side. Fresh, let me tell you, in such instances and arrests and what, if it was me and you there, or me and nobody with the suspect or the alleged kingpin or mastermind, I would have also been arrested. The police, when they arrived there, you don't prove anything to them. They arrest everybody they found there, especially when you don't live in that house. When you live in that house and say, I'm the son, I don't know anything about this. But you have people who are claiming to be journalists. To the police, they don't know that. They probably know Mr. Kenny Kunene because he's an MMC of transport in Gauteng. They would have taken, under normal circumstances, the police will take you to the police station. You will explain yourself there. You'll clear your name there. You don't clear your name with the police. The commander or the station commander or the captain will say, no, based on the evidence at hand, he can release these people. They were at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what police would normally do. But maybe, again, it's because Kenny explained himself well, or he was there. Some people are saying where there's smoke, there's fire, and Gayton could have not issued a statement or suspended Kenny. Probably Mr. Gayton McKenzie knows something. But I wrote a piece during the course of this week, and I said, I think this is a PR stunt from the Patriotic Alliance. I think Mr. McKenzie is showing the country that we in the PA, we don't care.
We're decisive.
We are decisive. He went to an extent of saying it was the hardest thing he had to do, decision he had to do and implement in life. But he didn't only suspend, he suspended him as a deputy president. He suspended him, he said he's going to ask the mayor of Joburg to suspend him as an MMC and then on party activities for a month. But there's another interesting part. And this is where I see Patriotic Alliance playing a very good PR role, because they've already received praises. People have already said, Mr. Ramaphosa, this is how a leader, behaves. This is how a leader conducts himself.
Yes.
Be decisive, act. Understand? They said they are going to appoint, what do you call it, a lawyer, a reputable person to investigate all this, and that person will handle the investigation and all the media response. That's a PR exercise. That's scoring points. Understand? That's what we do. I can tell you, the relationship between Gayton and Kenny is beyond comrade and comrade. It's brotherhood.
No, it's deep.
It's deep.
It's a deep relationship.
It's a very deep relationship. It has business. There is nothing that Kenny would do that Gayton would not know about. I don't think they will betray each other to that extent. But if they do, and it comes out, Gayton will do anything under the sun to protect Kenny. He will. And even part of this PR, part of suspension, it may be protecting him. And then to say, you are doing a lot of boo-boos and mistakes, because he was in 5 media houses in one day. 5. He was in 3 radio stations.
He went on a roadshow.
Yes, he went on a roadshow. You understand?
Even Floyd hasn't been on that much of a roadshow yet.
Let me tell you, he was trying to plug a lot of things to clear his name.
Yeah.
I said, it's good that he didn't avoid. And it's good that you nip it.
Face the fire.
Yeah, face the fire. Whether you are right or wrong, or you are lying or not, it's not the case. But you stood up, you went up, and you went there. So, and Gayton said, you have done it. Leave it. Let's leave experts and lawyers and spokespersons to do that. I was actually surprised that Kenny did not use, but it came to my mind after, that Kenny did not use Steve Motale, who is the spokesperson of the PA, to handle this. But I understand why. He was there in his personal capacity for his private, media house or outlet, online newspaper, and he was also not there for the MMC, or for City of Joburg. And I said, one of the things that I praise Gayton McKenzie for is that Kenny Kunene was doing his private stuff during official time, because they had something they were busy with in another region of Joburg. And again, you are like ill-disciplined, you banked work to go and do your private stuff. So he's showing leadership in this whole thing. Whether there is news there, or the secrets, or there's history and all that, it's up. Time will tell us as it goes.
Absolutely. Let's move to the DA versus ABC Jonas and the visa application to the US.
Yes.
What is happening there?
You recall last week we spoke about it. The DA went out and challenged the presidency and said, it has come to the attention of the Democratic Alliance that the United States of America has primarily declined ABC Jonas's diplomatic visa to be as the envoy of the president and South Africa to Washington. But it didn't end there. The DA went further and said the U.S. even refused to accept his credentials as the envoy. Now, the presidency, again, clumsy, delaying, quiet. What Ntate Vincent Magwenya, the spokesperson of the presidency, issued last week, he said the DA is poking their noses in the president's affairs. They must wait. The president will deal with this thing. Something is happening. Now, the African National Congress, which is the political party that the president comes from, they had their National Executive Committee or National Working Committee meeting at the beginning of this week. And they issued a statement that, yes, it is true what the DA is saying. And that's why I call this whole thing clumsy. You understand? When Mr. Nkabane Jonas was appointed or identified by President Ramaphosa to be the envoy, we didn't hear it from the ANC. We didn't hear it from the DA. It didn't just come as a piece of paper. The president addressed the nation. He even explained that Mr. Jonas will be the envoy to the US for him and for the Republic of South Africa. So he is our representative. We don't have, as the citizens of this country, we don't have to hear from a member of the GNU, which is the Democratic Alliance, or from the ANC, which is the leading party in the GNU, that what the president promised us did not happen. In May, we are in July, fresh. We are in July. If the Americans rejected Nkabane Jonas in May, who was identified in March, appointed in April. In May, the Americans didn't say, why is the presidency quiet? Why is the president not bringing us into conference that they are handling this? Where is Nkabane Jonas? We heard last week that he's sitting at the DTI behind the scenes. And no, that man was not appointed for behind the scenes. He was appointed to where, and he was supposed to be sitting in Washington doing our work, especially with the challenges that we have been facing now. We are facing very serious challenges with the United States. And so, again, the DA will go out and say, we told you. Now it begs me to question, who's actually the leader of the GNU? If I look at the way the DA has been behaving, and when they claim that the GNU is holding because of them, their work, their results, their statement are actually confirming what they are saying, whether we like it or not.
The punching above the weight of the percentage of seats within the GNU.
Way above. I mean, they are in the forefront. They are in the lead. They get information before us or before the nation or before the GNU. Understand? Or before the GNU. I don't think President Ramaphosa or the ANC did not know what the Americans have decided regarding Mr. Nkabane Jonas. I don't think they didn't know. But the question becomes, why would they keep quiet about it? What actions have they taken in the meantime? Who is doing the job that Nkabane Jonas was supposed to do in between the president appointing a permanent ambassador in the US? Who's doing that job?
And a DTI in the corner office so he's still getting paid though?
Well, he started his job domestically. He's still getting paid. And it's not paying in government is not a problem. The government pays. They pay you for sitting at home and doing nothing. So I don't think the presidency is fair to us as the citizens of this country. If I was a member of one of those oppositions, I would have raised this issue in Parliament when President Ramaphosa tabled, because, there's another budget speech that went through. He tabled his budget speech. You say, but you are paying Nkabane Jonas. Why are you paying him? What has he done? What are the Americans saying? And we did tell President Ramaphosa that the Americans will not accept Jonas, especially with President Trump sitting there. It will not happen. But look where it has put us now. We are on the ledge of the Americans.
In fact, let's go to the US. The US Senate Committee, the Foreign Relations Committee, passed a bill. Have they passed it?
The committee,
but it must still go through a couple of hurdles.
Yes.
Targeting South Africa and ANC-aligned individuals for alleged pro-Russia alignment. Let's talk about that. Are we in diplomatic hot water? Should we massage this situation? Should we be worried about AGOA? Or is it time to say, actually, you know what? Okay, sharp woman, do what you must.
I don't know, man.
And we'll do what we must. Because now I'm tired, eh?
I don't know.
I'm tired.
And the silence of our government is not helping us as citizens. And I can imagine if you were an investor or a forex trader in dollars, or you are an exporter of South African goods to the USA. I can imagine those people, normal South Africans who are doing business. We are running against time. Understand? you're tricky.
Diplomatically, what should have been said by now? In fact, I'm not even saying by now because we go out on Saturday. Today is Friday.
Yeah.
What should have been said by now?
Look,
Or what should have been said by Wednesday when the Senate committee was busy with this? Yeah.
Look, the government should have issued a statement in response to that. Silence is not golden in this time. Silence is not going to help us. They should have issued a statement to inform us as a nation or to counter that, whatever, to tell us what are they doing for the last 3 days. What have the government done for the last 3 days with regard to this whole issue? And I don't think the South African government, with its representatives, whoever, no matter how junior they are or trade officials they are, sitting in Washington, D.C., I don't think they're doing nothing. I think they are doing things behind the scenes.
Yes.
You understand? I think there's lobbying happening. But there's a very dangerous part of that, if you think as a diplomat. You spoke about, can we massage them? To go to a massage parlor, you need a masseur to do the job.
Sure.
You can't just take a gardener and say the masseur is out, therefore the gardener coming to the job.
And it doesn't help that you're dealing with people that take disinformation and fake news as gospel,
And they believe that.
and it doesn't help that you're dealing with people that, in the bigger scheme of things, they're not going to admit it, but they are white supremacists. And if you're brown or black,
They don't
see it.
They have disrespect
Yes.
towards us.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah,
Demonstrated.
Unwana.
You see, the Americans are conducting themselves as if South Africa is wholly and solely dependent on them for survival. That's what they are being bullied, actually.
I was gonna
South Africa is being bullied.
Yes.
But now South Africa is caught up in a diplomatic situation where Americans are not behaving diplomatically. They are behaving like raging bulls. And South Africa is not even behaving diplomatically. They are using what we call silent diplomacy. There's 2 ways. One way is in diplomacy. People will tell you, communication, it's part of diplomacy because it tests waters. If South Africa issues a statement or a government position to the US, even if it's a repetition of what we have said before, it will tell the Americans that these are principled people. They are sticking to their diplomatic position, and therefore the Americans may come with a different tactic, or the Americans may say, hey, these ones, we can't push them. They are not, push babies. Let us come with another way of engaging them. But being silent and time is moving. The 1st of August, it's next Friday. Understand? It doesn't give us time. But I think
So what's happening? What's happening on the 1st of August?
The 1st of August, remember, is the day Americans are imposing the 30% tariff.
All the tariffs, yes.
The tariffs, yes. So this whole thing, it does not have only to do with imposing sanctions. And they didn't say they're imposing sanctions on South Africa.
Is that specific?
They said they're going to target specific people in government and the ANC. So it's not a DA, it's not PA, it's not any other party. It's the people in government and the ANC.
Where are they getting this list of people from?
We don't know.
Are they saying to the ANC and AfriForum, which natives here must be punished?
I think it's the list that was provided by AfriForum. Coincidentally, you mentioning AfriForum, they were the first to respond to this.
No, as always. They
were
always
the first to respond and say that's
white recognize white.
Yes, and I don't know where they get the list. I think from AfriForum, but I also think from the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria. I'll tell you why. I'm saying that it's because in the past they mentioned the ANC engaging the communists. That's why they're saying the ANC, not the government only. I think, people like Menom Mokonyane, who's doing her job. She's doing her job as the first SG of the ANC. She's responsible for their foreign desk. So whenever the ANC, as a political party, wants to engage with their counterparts or other political parties, she will be leading the delegation. So she's doing her job. So what is America doing as a bull? Is that they're sitting in a kraal and they say the kraal is the world. I'm in charge. I'm the bull. You will do what I want. Because if you look at what was presented in the House Committee for Foreign Affairs, it's basically 4 things fresh and for the benefit of our listeners. One that they mention is the relationship between South Africa and what they call communists and terrorists.
Oh, yes.
Communists will be China and Russia.
Yeah, they mentioned China, Russia, they mentioned Iran.
That's terrorists. Remember, they regard Iran as a terrorist sponsoring country. Then they mention Hamas. That's the first thing.
But they're the same people that were responsible for regime change in Iran all those years back.
Exactly. Now, the second part is they are saying the relationship that South Africa is continuing to build militarily, economically, and anti-dollarization
Yes.
with certain groups. They don't mention it by name, but we know they're talking about BRICS.
And is it really and is it really de-dollarization if I say to you, I am, I use a ruble, you use a rand, let's trade in rubles and rands?
Yes. No, but their focus is that BRICS is pushing the story of saying they're going to have a BRICS currency.
Yes.
Like the EU has, years back, I think it was in 1998 when the euro was launched. But again, these are double standards of the Americans. This is hypocrisy. Because when the EU went on the euro, the Americans did not panic, did not...
Because they did not have a lunatic at the helm.
Yeah, probably. But then the last thing is them claiming that South Africa, okay, it's not even a claim, saying South Africa for taking their ally Israel. They're very clear. It's those 4 points, taking their ally Israel to the ICJ. And the person who's leading this, now this is interesting. The person, Rodi Jackson, is a senator from Texas.
From Texas, yes.
Yes. He was funded, and it's an open secret. He was funded by the Israeli government. He was one of the senators who had the biggest purse for campaigning for elections in the U.S. So he's pushing for this thing. It's not the first time he's doing this against South Africa. He has done it before. But I wouldn't panic. Diplomatically, I wouldn't panic. I think South Africa must communicate to the U.S. in responding in writing, not on Twitter or X, and communicate with us to can still talk the nice diplomatic language of say, I don't think we are yet at a stage where we should say to the United States, show them a middle finger. I don't think we are there yet because we didn't prepare the platform on the other side. And I said, America is panicking and want to push South Africa as a key country between the South countries and the North Pole countries. They want to punish us for that. But I think we should not be reactive. We should be proactive at some stages. If we didn't delay with Jonas, if we would have appointed an ambassador that Trump had accepted, things would be different. We should have done that. We should have appointed an ambassador that all could have been in Washington. And by the way, some people say this doesn't work. It works. It matters. Where your embassy is located in a foreign country plays a very big role. You know that, for example, in Berlin, our embassy is sitting in the most prime location. In Washington, I've never been to Washington, but I'm told it's sitting in a prime location where the South Africans has a walking distance access
to Capitol Hill.
So they should be using those strategic points. But things are secretive. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know who's leading negotiations. There's no ambassador. There's no Jonas. We don't know what's going on. They did not take advantage of the time when the Americans rejected Jonas in May. The president had already spent 3-4 months without an ambassador. Understand? So it's 5 months into.
So no ambassador, no envoy.
No ambassador, no envoy. And now these are the results we are sitting with. While that happens, AfriForum, which is a lobby group, Solidarity, a labor union associated with AfriForum, and the Democratic Alliance, they are pushing their stance. They are pushing their agendas with the United States of America. I mean, I've heard a DA spokesperson saying, yeah, this would have not happened if the ANC was not associating with the radical communists. And now the only thing that's going to save us, this is a DA spokesperson saying it during the course of this week. He says the only thing that is going to save us is the DA's central policies that are pro-markets. Because remember, with the targets, it's about markets. It's about trade. And I don't think we're in a good position to handle this bull at the moment. When you are in a crawl, you don't wave a red flag to a bull. So I would say diplomatically, let us not wave a red flag in front of Donald Trump at the moment. But waiting also may not help us.
Because, I mean, I've been saying this for the last probably 4, 5, 6 months, that why don't we in the interim prepare for a world without, say, AGOA?
Yeah.
Let's prepare for the worst so that if the worst doesn't happen, we're still not we're not dealing with a load we were not prepared for. And I know it would affect literally billions of dollars in trade. It will affect hundreds of thousands of jobs and earnings for South African companies that have, farmers and craft makers and food makers that have access to the US market.
And stars.
But in the event that they pull the AGOA rug, are we prepared for
The
that?
damage is going to be bigger than not doing anything.
Because I'd rather we start working as if AGOA doesn't exist, so that if they pull the AGOA rug, we kind of keep things going as much as we possibly can, and get in touch with the Xi Jinping, who said if 600 American companies pull out, we can replace them in a week or two.
Yeah.
Have that conversation with the Xi Jinping. I mean, I assume the conversation is happening behind the scenes, because I don't think they're going to tell us that, listen, we are addressing this with Xi Jinping.
I want to assume that it's been happening. Look, Deputy President Paul Mashatile visited Japan and China recently and all that. I want to assume and pray that these engagements are happening behind the scenes in case things fall down. But you know what's the challenge, Fresh? Pardon me. The challenge is, it is not the government that is engaging the alternative party. It is the ANC. And the DA is not in support of them, while the DA is a very big partner of the GNU.
Yes.
Understand? So that is where the challenge is. When the ANC goes to east, DA goes to west. So we are talking with forked tongues as a nation. And I think as much as people want to praise the GNU to say it has survived, it has done well, we may see the disadvantages of the GNU, especially in international fora, coming out very soon. It may, because the two major parties of the GNU, actually, even if you count the small ones, like the Patriotic Alliance and others, they've got completely different interests when it comes to the international arena. And I think that's where the challenge is. The DA is talking the West, what we call the imperialist. Patriotic Alliance, as small as they are, I mean, they are the fifth largest party in the country. They are talking Hamas can go to hell and Viva Israel. The South African position with Israel is very clear diplomatically, it's very clear politically, it's very clear legally. We are very clear on that. That's one time under Mena Lady Pando. I missed her this week, and I think she'll be on the US list if it goes through, where she was very decisive and she was communicating. She was vocal. She was out. That's the kind of diplomacy you need at the moment. She was putting our foreign policy position very clear.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the challenge is. But let us just pray and hope that this thing will not go through in the USA. It will not go through the Senate and the House, the main House and the Senate. And I don't think it will. Personally, if you ask me, I don't think it will. This is just a committee of government. It's a small committee of foreign affairs. The margins are scary because it was 30 to 16, the votes. 30 were in for it and 16 were against it. Now it will go to the House of Representatives or whatever it's called. And then it must pass there, which is what I may call, if I try to compare, America, it's a federal state and we are a democratic state. So but let me compare it. It must go through our National Council of Provinces. It must pass there with a majority vote. And now that's where the Democrats in America, we are banking on them. So we are banking on the opposition party.
To be the voice of reason.
To be the voice of reason, or to be on our side.
Listen here, if the Democrats that are watching the genocide in Gaza happen, why would they care about us? When there are children being shot by snipers and starved to death.
But
and they don't bat an eyelid.
This is the different ball game. This is the diplomatic and trade relations, and some Democrats may be having interest in South Africa business investments and so forth. They don't care about the people of Palestine.
These are the same Democrats that Trump convinced that his big beautiful bill must be passed.
Yeah,
the same Democrats. So you think they're going to care about a bunch of brown people at the southern tip?
They have, for their own vested interest. I think they will stop this.
I don't think they care.
After that, it must go to the Senate, which is the last place.
The last hurdle.
Hurdle. Then it must pass there as well with a majority vote. And look, the Republicans have the majority.
Yes.
There's
anyway.
Very slight majority. So it will mean all Republican senators must vote for the bill. All.
And they will.
I doubt it. With the skirmishes they've been having with Donald Trump and our boy, with the challenges they've been having internally.
I think they will toe the party line because Trump clearly has a lot of things on a lot of people. And that's probably why the Epstein files have even disappeared. All of a sudden, there's no Epstein files.
Tato, if this thing goes through, my brother, let me tell you, we would be in a mess.
It's going to go through. In fact, I'll tell you something. Unfortunately, a leader like Trump, as polarizing as he may be for a lot of people on the planet, because he's a white supremacist, he still appeals to the supremacist in some of the Democrats.
That's the danger. That's my fear.
And he's emboldened a lot of racists, even in this country. So the chances of this bill not passing are very slim.
I wish it goes my wishes, my way, not your way.
I'm trying to be a realist right now, not an optimist.
I am more scared of the Democrats who are racist and who think like Trump for this bill to go through. Because they will need them in the lower house.
Sure.
They will need the Democrats there. I don't know how are the margins working in the U.S., but it looks like some of the regions, states, the Democrats have more than the Republicans. So Democrats may sway the vote there. But if they fail and it goes to the Senate, there I'm very worried because that's where the Republicans have an absolute majority.
Absolutely.
And let's bank on the fact, it's my fear, but let's hope the Democrats will be in their human senses when this happens. And they will think also for their business interest.
Yes, sir.
They will demonstrate to the world and their voters that, no, we are not as crazy as Trump. We will not vote for this bill. The South Africa-USA, the RSA-USA Bilateral Relations Act. They've even promulgated it to be an act. And look, so many, another month or so, and we'll see how it goes. But the tariffs thing comes in on the 1st of August, which is a few days from now.
It's in a week.
Yeah, so that bill would have not gone through all the steps, and Trump must sign it. I just see that man signing it same day the C date passes it, but it's going to take time, some few more weeks.
Sure.
But it's a wait and see situation. I think South Africa must do something. I don't know what. If you ask me, I do not know what. Go and massage Trump. Send somebody that Trump will allow to touch his toes and feet. Stop. Hold this thing. Push it backwards a little bit.
Sure.
Understand? Don't send the DA people. They will sell the country out. Find somebody, and I still say South Africa has credible diplomats. Some of them have served in the USA. Some of them are very close to the Republicans. And if I was President Ramaphosa, I would use those people.
As much as Ibrahim Rasool, after being expelled from the US, spoke about how whomever President Ramaphosa sends back to Washington must not be sent back to appease him. You've got to play the game.
You have to play the game.
You have to play the game. If it means sending a Tony Leon, send a Tony Leon.
Yes. Look, I'm not saying we should compromise and we should be beggars and we should be bullied by America. I'm being realistic.
Don't beg. Play the game.
Play the game.
You understand the person you're playing with. Play their game in order to try and outsmart them within their own game.
Absolutely.
It's all good being hard-headed about, Mandela, we don't want to play their game.
No.
If you want to win, you got to play their game.
Exactly. That's what we should do now. That's all we have for the next 2-3 weeks. That's what we must do. We must know how to play the game, which players to use in this game. Which players is very critical.
Sure.
It's very key. If these people think everybody black, everybody else is communist, look next door. Look somewhere.
Yeah.
You understand? There are people, one of the people I respect in South African politics, although he's a right-winger, is Groenewald of the Freedom Front Plus. I have respect for him. Understand? He may be a right-winger, maybe a left-winger, but I have respect for him. We can have people use a diplomat. At the moment, what we can, use diplomats, leave politicians out of this, leave business people out of this. And use diplomats. Look what Trump did. He accepted to speak to President Ramaphosa when his golfers and businessmen like the John Ruperts were there. We played the game there. I didn't favor that game. It was an embarrassing.
But they did what had to be done.
They did what they had to be done at that time. Use the same tactics. Different players, but the same tactics. It's like playing soccer. When you are leading and 2 minutes is left, what do? You either attack with everything or you hold the ball.
You park the bus.
Yes. And I don't know if we don't have politicians who can think along those lines.
Park the bus if you need to park the bus.
Yeah. Just don't send Nkabane. He may want to smoke a Trump out.
Yes. Brother, where do we find you on social media?
Oh, we need close quickly.
Yeah.
Something we'll talk about next week. Did you see one of the breaking news 2 days ago by the Lesotho National Police Commissioner that there are Basothos, young men who are being trained militarily
Ah, yes.
in South Africa,
Yes.
in the farms, especially in the Free State. They tried in KwaZulu-Natal and Eastern Cape. They failed. They are being trained militarily by the South African. They don't know who is training them, or they didn't mention. And he says some have actually already graduated and are back in Lesotho. Guess what they have been trained for? To reclaim the land that Lesotho historically says South Africa is occupying.
You are lying.
Yes, that's what they are being trained for.
Yeah.
Imagine, and this comes officially, there's an official statement from the Lesotho government. The National Police Commissioner on Wednesday night of Lesotho was on Newsroom Africa being interviewed, and he confirmed that. And he said there's almost hundreds now of them who have been trained militarily to come and take over militarily South Africa, and they're being trained in farms in the Free State.
Maybe this was what the minister was talking about, saying that we are aware of people with coup intentions. There's no danger, but we are aware of them.
Maybe, but I will be very worried if I was intelligence that we get this news from the Lesotho government to say, but you are training people who want to topple you. You are busy training. It's not the government.
But then again, you need to remember that a lot of intelligence stuff we'll never find out about. So maybe they were dealing with it, and this cop overstepped.
Yeah, or he had to respond because South Africa will then approach Lesotho and accuse Lesotho to say, are you sending your people there to topple us?
Yes.
But that's something that may strain relations between the two countries.
Depending on who's training them. Is it government?
No,
or
I
is
don't
it another
think it's
group?
government. No, I don't think it's government.
Or is it a group
And
that believes the
farms.
alliance is theirs?
They said the training is happening in the farms.
Yeah.
And I said, and if you know the Free State, who are the owners of the farms in the Free State, or majority, I don't think there's a black Free Stater or Mosotho guy in the Free State. You know, my late grandfather came from Bethlehem. I don't think if he has a farm, they'll be training people to topple the South African government when he's a South African. But it's one story that we are going to be watching unfolding.
Okay, let's do that. Where do we find you on social media?
botsangm@gmail.com or at 083-884-7787 for ordering the books on WhatsApp and all that. And then it's at botsangm on social media handles.
And we're done.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for your wait on 938.
Yes, sir.
Again, with your voice, the book sales went a little bit up this year. I could afford a bottle of wine or two. Thanks to you.
The point was for you to go print more books and sell them, not to buy wine.
Thanks, friend.
But we'll see you again on Monday morning at 8:10 in context with Botsang Moiloa on 938 Fresh Breakfast. Can't wait.
Brother, man. Thanks.
Hey, tada. From secret flights to silent firings, this week, PoliTricks in Mzansi once again show you that the truth takes the bus and scandal flies business or private. We'll see you again next week if we are not reshuffled like Parliament. Have yourselves a great week in spite of yourselves. We're coming to you from Discover TV out in 4 ways. Look up Discover TV, DISCOVR, if you're looking for studio space. We're part of the Africa Podcast Network. Email waew@africapodcastnetwork.com. Shout out Trevor and his crew at Pezulu Works for the cinematography. Keleso Modisa King is our executive producer, and all of our social media is done by YBF. Thank you for the love. Thank you, as always, for tuning in and engaging with all of our posts and all of our opinions. If you don't agree with us, we welcome anything and everything that you have to say, with respect, of course. Till next week, have a wow week in spite of yourselves. We're out of here.